Energy gels, energy gels. Oh man, the stress and worries. I know guys, 119 days to go. Episode 8, we're almost halfway there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. Yes, I know. Are you getting excited? I am. And if you are new here, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe and hit that alarm bell because we wouldn't want you to miss out on any future epic videos to help you along your marathon journey, running journey, or whatever it may be. And don't forget to stay to the very end because I'll be going through a bit about my particular training because I would have completed week 2 of my 12-week training. Yes, you would have seen Warwick Half Marathon was part of that training. And yes, we are really getting close now, aren't we? Oh yes, everybody, a warm welcome back. My name is Donato and this is episode 8 of 119 days to go to Marathon Day. Whichever marathon you may be doing, energy gels. This was one of the biggest stressors for me when I was training for my first marathon. What do I need to do? What do I want to do? Maybe, hopefully I'll go through this video and I'll be talking about what we need to do as opposed to what we may want to do, what we may think we need to do, but what we actually need to do. And maybe from my lessons learned, I'll be able to help some of you guys out there decide what to do during your long runs. Almost halfway for those of you following the 119 days to go. Halfway. I mean, it barely seems like Christmas Day when we started. I know. That's when it started, yes, 190, or was it Boxing Day? Yes, it was Boxing Day, I think, although I did have my Christmas Day hat on, Father Christmas hat on, but hey, I digress. The key thing in the book that it talks about, 119 days to go, is the dialing in terms of our nutrition and drinking. We've been running now for quite a number of weeks, 8 weeks now, we've been going on these 119 days to go. And our bodies are adapting and changing and we should be dialing in now. And Dr. Martin Yelling talks about this in the book where we dial in what our food and nutrition is on a daily basis. And that's the critical thing. Whilst I'll go through in terms of the actual long runs where we'll be out for a number of hours, yeah, like a mini expedition on these. And I remember it like my very first long run over in the Malverns. And I'll leave a link in the description below where you can watch me go through my epic, I think it was over 32 kilometers that was, over the hills of the Malverns, yeah. Not the best of planned, but it was Easter breaks, we're building up, it's holidays, and I've got to fit in, and it was also a Saturday. I'll talk more about that, you know, in terms of what days we do our long runs. We fit it in around family, children, friends, work and all that type of stuff. And that's one of the key things as well. But dialing in our nutrition on a daily basis, drinking on a daily basis. I did mention this in a few weeks back where we need to be drinking on a regular basis and keeping ourselves hydrated all the time. Not just about hydration on the actual long run. Yeah, which I'm going to go on to now. Yes, guys, I've got 3 types of energy gels here, and there's probably 101 others products types, and each one of them are particularly, how can I say, they all do the same thing. Yeah, they provide energy for us, but the key thing to remember is not to overdo it on these. These don't make you faster. By eating and drinking lots of these on your long runs isn't going to make you faster. In fact, if you have too many of these, it can work the other way, either coming out that way or that way. Yeah, I know, too much detail. So these particular gels that I've got here, there's 3 brands, and that one was a freebie at the running show. That one was a freebie at the Warwick Half, which is a Hilltop energy gel. And then this is Talk, what's been my go-to energy drinks, gels and all types as well. But they all work on a pretty similar format where it's a concentrate form of dextrose, sugars and carbohydrates. So the sugar converts to carbohydrates, or is it the carbohydrate convert to sugar? Whatever, they work. But the key thing is to try the ones that work for you, how your tummy works and is it good for you. And I found that the brand that I use, I can get on with almost most of them. I guess I'm one of the lucky ones. And for some people, any form of gel doesn't really help at all, and you might need to look at, say, energy blocks, which is like a jelly bean, which you put in your mouth and then you just suck on all the way through. Energy blocks can help, so you basically take it on just a liquefied form of whatever that gel block is made of. But the key thing with these is working out what works for you and how often to take them. Now, some of these gels, like I look at this one, and the original one that I used to use like 7 years ago, it used to say take one every 15 to 20 minutes, which is not strictly true. And I've noticed that these don't say these on them, not in big print. I've not looked yet. See, on the back here of the SIS, it says consume up to 3 sachets per 60 minutes of exercise as required. So what it's telling you is to take one of these every 20 minutes. I don't do that, 100% do not do that. You need to work out what works for you. On this Hilltop one, it says on the front in big, well, almost big, 20 to 30 minutes of natural energy. So this one's saying 20 to 30 minutes, and yet it's smaller than the size of the SIS. So you do the maths. I mean, what's in it? I'm not going to go through the details of that, but find what works for you. And some gels sit better than others. The consistency for a lot of them are very different. You know, some of them, like the Morton gel, is almost like eating jelly. I don't know whether that's the word that you use in different parts of the world, but here in the UK, you know, ice cream and jelly, you know, it's quite solid. And yes, you can sort of suck it down, but it's a bit more solid than liquid forms on these. Some of them are thick liquids, some are literally, it's almost like, not quite water, but a sort of very thick water, and it goes down a lot easier. So find the ones that work for you. How often you need to take them really depends on the speed that you're running at, and also how long you're out for. Because if you're out for, say, 3 hours, you're going to need a number of these to go through and keep you going. And it's important to take them early on rather than wait when you actually need them, because that's too late then. If you get to a point where your tummy's rumbling or your energy level's gone down, it's too late. Whilst it'll help to start taking them then, you know, that you may need to stop and rest and recover before you start again. So it's important to start taking these on early on. How early? It can vary, again, pace to pace, people to people. For me, I'll just go through what I did when I was using these, and it worked for me. So if I put these down here. For me on my long runs, it was about the first hour I would go without any gels. And then after that, it'd be between 20 and 40 minutes I'll be taking the gels on a regular basis. And I don't know what distances I was doing, how far I'd gone, but I was running at what would be an easy pace. The challenge I found, and this is where sometimes social media can be good or not so good, depending on who you're listening to, and my speed was dropping off. Say I'll be doing, say, a 20k or 30k long run. Towards the end, my speed would literally drop off the cliff. And a lot of people were telling me that it was to do with hydration, water. Some would say I need more gels. So I went off and bought a hydration pack, put it on my back, and would fill it up with water and would go on the run and would drink as and when I felt like drinking. And do you know what? By the end of the run, I hardly touched the water. Yes, I'd gone through a number of gels, but hardly touched the water. So the gels in themselves act as a form of hydration. So I was already fully hydrated before the long runs. So that worked for me. I'd love to hear from you what works for you. If you've got any hints and tips, leave it in the description below, what may help others. And I'd certainly love to hear how you're getting on in your long runs. And I'll be talking about the 3-hour rule in future videos, where the long run doesn't really need to be that long. Although being out for 3 hours, I think, is long enough, don't you think? Yeah? So yes, how have I been getting on with my training? Yes, I'm just about to finish week 2 of my 12-week training plan, and you would have seen that I had a number of races booked, which I'd gone through the previous week. So I've had the, as part of my training block that I'm doing in the next 12 weeks, I've got the Warwick Half Marathon, which I completed last week. I've got the Hereford 10 miler, Chester 10k, Knighton 20, and the Droitwich Half, in that order. So next week I've got the Hereford 10. So this weekend, just a long run on my own, doing my own thing, and then next week will be the Hereford 10 miler. But I also have a 10k warm-up before that, long run warm-up, and then the 10 mile at marathon pace. So I'm using these as training runs. And so far, touch wood, everything seems to be going well. And I even completed my first ever spin class for over a decade. Yes, I know, whilst I've used my those cycling shoes that you can see there, have I showed them there, that for bike rides, and the 70.3 Ironman that I've completed as well. It was the first time being in a gym doing a spin class, and it was quite refreshing. I quite enjoy it. I don't know what you guys like doing as you're cross training. Leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you if you do any form of cross training, whether it be walking, yoga, spin classes, elliptical. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. That's it from me for this week. I really enjoyed sharing this with you, and I very much look forward to seeing you at next week's 119 Days Go, where we will be at the halfway point. I know, and things are really hotting up. I hope you're enjoying your runs, however often you're doing them, and your long runs as they're building up, and I'd love to hear from you how we progress. And I look forward to seeing many of you at London Marathon, and also, as a little bit of a teaser, I'll be at Manchester Marathon as well. There, supporting you and helping you all along. Yes, so keep an eye out for me at Manchester Marathon as well. Thank you so much for watching. Peace, love, take care of yourselves. Bye bye bye.
Go Unicorn. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad, thank you.
Feeling good?
Pretty good yourself?
Oh yes.
Excellent.
Let's get to the finish. What's your name? What's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, have a good one, mate. Enjoy.
Cheers, buddy. Enjoy as well.